Our next tale concerns catching fish in the unlikeliest of conditions, when the river's raging and bank high. In the past few years, flooding's become an increasing risk in the Severn Valley. Every Severn regular knows that the river can be unfishable for several weeks or even months in the period between autumn and the end of the coarse fishing season in mid-March. Indeed, it's not unusual to rock up to the river only to find that the level is several metres above the normal height of summer. Learning to cope with floods is a challenge that defeats many anglers, but it's not as impossible as you might think. I've caught fish when the river's literally bursting its banks and the side streams and feeder rivers are pumping in millions of gallons of churning water. Floodwater fishing isn't for the faint-hearted, but there is hope. Thankfully, some species of fish thrive in heavy, dirty water, and one of those species is barbel. Barbel use the small fleshy appendages known as whiskers to detect food in water that's too coloured to offer any visibility. Conditions that most other species don't enjoy are relished by old whiskers. So let's start with arguably the worst conditions, when the river's in full flood, bank high and filthy. Finding a swim that has the right current and flow is vital. You should look for water that's flowing steadily at a walking pace. Avoid swims that backflow or have conflicting flows and look for smooth glides. You'll find them most frequently on the Severn if you concentrate on swims with bushes or trees that stick out into the river and put a brake on the flow. To catch barbel in a flood, you rarely need to fish far out. If the rig that you're using thumps down on the deck after casting out, you're in the right place. And remember that some of the best floodwater swims might not hold fish when the river's at normal level. Indeed, some of my favourite floodwater hotspots are dry under normal conditions. You'll need to use a lead that's comfortably heavy enough to hold bottom in the area that you're fishing. Bait-wise, anything with a good scent is what you want. Top of my list is a big chunk of luncheon meat fished on a big hook. The scent of the meat will draw barbel to it and help them to find the bait when visibility is at a minimum. In a flood, I like to touch ledger. It's not that the bites are shy, but by crooking the line over my finger, I can feel as well as see the difference between debris hitting the line and a real bite. On this day, with the river still rising and colouring, typically when it came, the bite was such a surprise that I almost missed the fish and my coffee cup almost ended up in the river. No matter, it was barbel on.